गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री Gurave Namaha. We are in Kenopanishad and we are looking at the Sambandha Bhashya, and till now it was told that, in short, so that we all know where we are. Suddenly 2 weeks, 1 week is over, that this Kena Upanishad is the 9th chapter of in the mantras, and the previous 8 chapters were about the karma and the upasana, and there it was told that those who a person who is addicted to karma, that a person who, it is told that who is a person who always wants to do something, and for such a person who always wants project after project after projects, can't stop, even though he may not be going anywhere, but he is at home. There also, take out all the cutlery, clean it, wipe it again and put it back in again, clean this, clean that, then do this upasana, do that upasana, do this, do that, Om Namah Shivaya, Shri Krishna Sharana Mama, again and again, meditation after meditation after meditation. Why? I want to do something. And for such a person, it was told, do prana, the Upanishad in the Sambandha Bhashya in the previous 8 chapters. Such a person was told, you should practice prana upasana, Gayatri upasana. Even Upanishad Panchadashi says, Pranavam Dirgha Ucharyam Manorajyam Viliyate. This Manorajya is the habitual, this habit of doing something. It's only because there is a desire within our bosom, and this desire of taking, of taking the world to be real, and as a result of that, wanting to achieve something, to improve it, to do something in order to even achieve they say they want to achieve the truth, they want to achieve God, but they are still lost in the unwanted stuff. And for such a person, prana upasana, what does prana upasana do? It calms down your mind. What is prana upasana? Upasana, doing pranayam or chanting Om with your pranas. Then Gayatri Mantra. Why Gayatri Mantra was told to do Gayatri Upasana? So that your intellect expands, your intellect gets, the spark is lit in your intellect. That intellect which was continuously thinking, I am the body, I am the family, I am the father, I am the mother, I am the daughter, I am the son. Now that intellect, when it gets on fire, such an intellect then no longer is addicted to doing. Karta bhav is in the intellect. Wherever there is karta, there must be karya, the doer and the doing and the object on which your action is going to fall. and the result also. All this is in the intellect only. And thus, that if the person has followed everything that is told in the previous 8 chapters, then automatically such a person will become a mumukshu. And what is mumukshu? Mumukshu is the person who is seeking knowledge. And we told in detail last time the example of Nachiket Maharaj, the young boy. We are not going to go into the details, but he is seeking the knowledge. He is not seeking the knowledge of the world. He is not seeking knowledge through world. Mumukshu is a person who wants to seek the knowledge as it is, without any support. And thus he continues to purify himself, not to, because when you purify, powers will come. So his attention is not on improving the world. He is purifying himself because he wants to know the truth as it is. That is his intention. And those who do not, therefore, those who follow, this is the one marg. They do the upasana, and if they do not realize, they reach through the Uttarayan marg, they reach the Devalokas. Those who follow, it was told, those who follow Shraut, Smarta, Karma, such people, they go by Dakshinayan marg and come again to this world. And yet the third type was told, those who are following the path of animalistic life. What is animalistic life? Those who do not speak like a human being. क्या है? Like a bark. क्यों बुलाया? कहाँ जाना है? किस लिए आए हो? This is one example. Animalistic life, meaning they live only at the body level. And such people, when and yes, another big point was that such people who are living like an animal or animalistic life, such people do not have any interest in the scriptures. They do not pursue the scriptures. They don't want to know anything in the scriptures. Such people, when listening to the scriptures, if someone has brought them, they go to sleep also. But still, if they have come, something has changed, shifted in them. First thing is they will not come to it only. They will stay far away. Why? Because they don't want their notions to be broken in the satsang. If we keep banging them again and again that you have to give up your relations and possessions, they get frustrated because they are living at body level. Anyway, such people, they go to the lower yonis. They do not, neither they go to the Devalokas as the Upasakas went, neither they go to come back to the earth as those who are following the karma. But these fellows who follow the animalistic life and behavior, they go into, the Lord corrects his mistake and he sends them into the appropriate. And then some Upanishads were, in fact, Aitreya Upanishad was told, and there it was said that that a person who has purified his antahkaran is no longer under the influence of desires. Now, if you have to, antahkaran means what? Mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. Ahankar is this. Mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. All these are thoughts only. Mind is erratic thoughts, just data is coming in. Mind doesn't know what to do. It gets emotional if it based on the data before. Buddhi is decisive in nature. Chitta is memories, and the ones who own all these three is the ahankar. And in this way, uh, the Aitra Upanishad said that one who has purified his antakaran, so find out whichever way, do pran upasana, do Gayatri upasana, do your Nam Jap, as Jnaneshwar Maharaj is telling in Amrit Anubhav. Such people who have done some upasana, what is the symptom? They are not influenced by their desires. What was told in Bhagavad Gita chapter 18? Sannyas. Who is a sannyasi? What is sannyas and what is tyag? Sannyasi is he who does not prompt desire motivated activities, who does not perform desire motivated activities, who does not initiate any activity prompted by desire. Sannyas. Automatically you are there. See. And how do you, again, don't forget, tell me if you remember from last class, how do desires get formed? Or why do desires get formed? Tell someone.
Feeling of incompleteness.
Give me technical answer. So that yes, that is true. That is a larger picture. But here, when I am saying purification, so we are talking of karma and upasana. So how do you precipitate desires into your bosom? What is the previous step to formation of desire?
Likes and dislikes.
Likes and dislikes, raga, dvesh. So what will be the action plan that we have to initiate when we are living in this world? Perform the action, but do not, and some result will be accrued, but do not make that result, I like this result, nor do you say, I don't like this result. Don't create likes and dislikes with the phala, because that will determine you want to do the action or you don't want to do the action. But in
Shlokam 419, 4th chapter 19 Shlokam in Gita.
Yes.
Yes.
See? So do not form likes and dislikes. This is the first step that we have to take care while performing action. So here, such a person who is alert with regards to that, then what happens? He starts withdrawing from the world. And as he starts withdrawing from the world, and how will he, what will be the reason, if we want to put words to it? On one hand, he realizes this whole world is empty. That is why. And on the other hand, he feels that by going to the source, everything will be gained in one go. Whatever has to be gained, he'll be complete. So both ways, that is his motivation. And thus we told you that such a person thereafter, as a result of this purification, he is not influenced by the world. He gets very much intensely involved in studying the scriptures, and studies intensely. He is interested also and he studies also. It is not a fluke that we get interested in Vedanta. It is not a fluke. It is not chance. Then only he. This is where we were yesterday. Where are we? Ketaka. Only he who has completely purified himself, he is qualified to ask about the truth. And such a student who is qualified, he does not have, as we said, he does not have any hang-ups of the world, and only like Nachiket, directly wanting to know the truth. Till here we did yesterday. Now on page number 6 in the Shankar Bhashya of Gita Press, Kathake cha uktam paranchikhani vyatrunatva swayambhu tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman. This comes in again Kathopanishad, where who is the hero of Kathopanishad? Nachiket. Who is the teacher in Kathopanishad? The Lord of Death. And there it is told that this self existing Paramatma, he cannot be gained by the senses, which are naturally always extroverted. They are going out, and when they go out, what happens? They get disintegrated, because there is the manyness, the variety, as the senses are moving outwards. And therefore he who has withdrawn his senses can alone know the truth. And so can the senses come to know the truth? No. Then their only field is outwards. But so that we don't get, the seeker, I, doesn't get influenced or get confused or get bombarded by the variety with which the senses are interacting, the stimuli that it is bringing in. Okay, let's put a Trump wall. Everything in this world wants to be accepted. It wants to belong somewhere. And this I is the sucker. Anything that comes, I know this, oh, I hear this, oh, I like this, oh, I dislike this. He is a sucker. So build the Trump wall. No refugees allowed, no interaction, initial stages. See? Yes, the senses cannot come to know the self, but at least now they are not bringing in, they are not under the influence of the world, and thus one who has come to withdraw, he alone can come to know the truth. Kaschid dhira pratyagatmanam aikshad avruta chakshu amrutattvamichan Kathopanishad ityadi. So this is what only when we say Indriya, Indriyas is not just the five senses, it's also the mind and intellect. And when all of them are withdrawn from the world, how do you do it? Do your Nam Jap, do your contemplation, do your meditation, or very simply like Arjun, like Parikshit, like many others, listen keenly, listen subjectively. Practice is there. Remember, where is practice? Where is doing? Karma and upasana. What is knowledge? Is there any doing required to be done in knowledge? You are of the nature of knowledge. No doing. Oh, my senses are extrovert, now you have to make them introvert. Oh, my intellect is thinking about everything, now it should think of the self. See? Just like a small sapling, someone gave me chili. So the chili plant, without any support, tick-tick, tick-tick, as the breeze comes. So today I brought a stick, put it on next to it. So it's now just resting against it. I have to tie it. If one breathe again, it will fall. See? So now what is happening? Then I put some snail pellets so the snails don't come and eat. I've given it protection. I've given it support. See? So initially, we need the support of our mantra, we need the support of our contemplation, we need the support of the satsang. But the whole purpose of satsang is that you become independent and be in continuous satsang with yourself. Purpose of satsang is not to make you dependent on the scriptures, make you dependent on the teacher. That is not the purpose. Where dependence ends, swatantrya begins. And that's our true nature. That's pratyagatma. But we are given so much value to the senses. And when we control the senses, automatically, if we are sincere and our mind is calm, without any comparison, without any itch to compare what is given there, what is given here, what was said there, what is said here, then what happens to such a mind? It is completely subjective at this very moment, and as the words are coming, it spark. The spark is lit. But this spark will be lit only where, as our Swamiji says, सूखा कचरा गीला कचरा. कचरा मतलब garbage, dry garbage and wet garbage. What is dry garbage? Dry garbage is all the possessions. And what is the wet garbage? Emotional hang-ups, relatives. So until unless this garbage which is collected in our mind, the dry garbage and the wet garbage, till this is not scooped out, this spark will not take place. So be available. Be available not to what that teacher said or this teacher said. It's here and now. You have to be available not even to me. Your ears are listening automatic. Then where have you to be available? You have to be available to yourself. Then it will spark. नहीं तो लगे रहो मुन्ना भाई और क्या. Next week is still there. And the next week and the next week and the next week. Pariksha lokan karma chetan brahmano nirveda maya nastya krutaha krutena. Here he says that a person who is established in the truth uh, ah, the one who is seeking Brahman, the one who is seeking the reality, the one who wants to establish in the self as the self, right here and now, at this moment, such a person, he has caught the game. He has observed, he has assessed that many times this karma and upasana, my obsession, the I's obsession towards the karma and upasana sometimes deviates me from abiding, and therefore now he has vairagya towards what? Karma and upasana. Nothing to be done in this world, and thus and thus only he who has sufficient amount of dispassion within his bosom, a critical level needs to be reached. Only then we become available to the truth. Now, in the next, तद विज्ञानार्थम स गुरुमेवाभिगच्छेत् समित्पाणिः श्रोत्रियं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं मुंडकोपनिषद. It says, तद विज्ञानार्थम स गुरुम एव अभिगच्छेत्. When we are interested to come to know, now he has purified his antahkaran, he is interested in the truth, he has sufficient amount of dispassion, but still not clicking, man. Still not clicking. Then what is to be done? Then such a person, such a seeker, such a mumukshu, tad vijnanartham, wanting to know this truth, he goes to a teacher, gurum abhigachet, goes to the teacher, and how does he go? Samitpanihi Shrotriyam Brahmanishtham. And who is this Guru Maharaj? He is Shrotriyam Brahmanishtham. Who is Shrotriyam Brahmanishtham? You understand? That Guru who is established in the truth. How will the student come to know that the teacher is established in the truth? Because he is not established in the truth. How will he come to know that the teacher is established? Faith. Shrotriyam. So these are two qualities of the teacher. He is established in the truth. And second, Shrotriya. He is well versed with the scriptures and also able to communicate the scriptures. And also, I will add here, it also means that he is also practicing it in his life. Shrotyam. So all the Shankaracharyas, they are living life like that. See? They are great masters, they are well versed in the scriptures. Now because they are masters, they don't need to do so many things, but they remain involved in the pujas, in the yagas, in the japa, in the Vedic chanting and everything. Continuously. They don't have to answer questions, they will answer questions, they will study. They become an example for the students how to discipline them, live a disciplined life. Does he need to do that? No. Then why is he doing it? It's happening. He's not doing it. From childhood he has been doing that, so now it's become a habit. So Shrotriya Brahmanishtam. And how you should go? Samit Panihi. You go with dry twigs. Those dry twigs indicate one with sufficient dispassion. He has dissolved his Manorajya. See? He has become uninfluenced by his desires for the world. Then he approaches the teacher. Not to test the teacher how much he knows. Not to test the teacher. But go there genuinely, sincerely. Because it's a personal journey. It's your journey. It's not Guru's journey. It's not the teacher's journey. It's the student's journey, this mumukshu's journey. So have the right environment in the heart and mind. Pray to the Lord that the right teacher comes into your life. And leave it. Don't assess every person who is coming. Whoever comes into your life is the right person. Are you ready to learn from them? Are you ready to learn from them? But we take it for granted. Just like husband takes the wife for granted, wife takes husband for granted. But you two have come together for a reason. But instead of learning, we become, let's liberate together, soulmates for 7 lives. Drama है एवं हि विरक्तस्य प्रत्यगात्म विषयं विज्ञानं श्रोतुं मंतुं विज्ञातुं च सामर्थ्यम् उपपद्यते नान्यथा. Only in this manner the dispassionate person by doing the Shravan, Mananam and Nididhyasan with regards to this Atma, the Pratyag Atma. On this topic, when he does Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, it is told Shrotum, Mantum, Vijnatum. Shrotum is listening, Mantum is Mananam. First you listen. Mananam is reflection, where we remove our doubts, not by asking questions. Removal of doubts is by reflecting on what you have heard. Where am I going wrong in understanding this? Why it is not why is it still so difficult for me to accept? Because the moment you have accepted it, it will start expressing in your life automatically. You don't have to try anymore. You don't have to put efforts. Mananam and Vijnatum, contemplation, Nididhyasanam, cha samarthyam upapadyate, or nanyatha. So he gets the samarthyam, he gets the ability through these 3 and is able to have the sakshatkar of the self. And there is no nanyatha, means there is no other way. This is the way. Even if you do yoga, this is the way. If you do Kundalini, this is the way. If you follow Nam Jap, this is the way. Knowledge of the self cannot be delivered to you. Uber delivery, Guru delivery. No. Guru is only a stimulus from outside, whom you have to realize within your heart and mind as the self, without a thought. Oh my God. He can only prompt us. Another way to put, a person who has enough dispassion is mumukshu. Only such a person has the ability to listen to the Upanishads, satsang. I keep giving you that example. When we were studying Upanishad, one trustee came into the class and Swamiji threw him out. He says, I pity all the brahmacharis. For 2 years they keep listening Brahman, Brahman, Brahman. मेरे से तो 20 मिनट भी नहीं बैठे गए. He literally spoke that way. Swamiji stopped. He told 2 or 3 brahmacharis, make sure, take him to the kitchen hall across the path, give him some tea and then come back. Let him enjoy his tea. No, but I want to understand. Get out. In fact, when we were studying, all the doors and windows were closed. Nobody was allowed to listen, apart from the students and those who were attending regularly. So this, see, didn't have to do that, but because the person who does not understand does not understand. But then there are people like Ravan. They take the knowledge and use it for the wrong purpose. Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu. And therefore, only this knowledge is to be presented to those who are having sufficient amount of dispassion, who are sufficiently purified within their mind. Only they can have dispassion towards the world. See? So if someone is feeling that this is too much, till now the Upanishad has not started, already 2-3 classes are gone, and why we have to discuss all this, we did this in the Ishavasya also. If this thought is coming in your mind, we have to refine further. We have to refine further. If we start getting bored with the satsang, because same examples, same ideas, karma, upasana, shravana, mananam, nididhyasana, eshanas, panchakoshas, etc., etc., similar thoughts are coming everywhere. And if we start getting bored, अरे यार फिर से वही आ गया कर्म उपासना, फिर वही. स्वामी जी बोर नहीं होते बोलते हुए? हम तो सुनते सुनते बोर हो गए. Not qualified yet. Not qualified yet. So instead of saying I am not qualified, work towards it. It's one moment. Drop everything from your mind. If it's not happening, do your japa, do your om upasana. Delve into it deeply. Only once you have to do it, and you will see the emptiness of this world. एतस्मात् च प्रत्यग आत्म ब्रह्म विज्ञानात् संसार बीजम अज्ञानम काम कर्म प्रवृत्ति कारणम अशेषतः निवर्तते तत्र को मोह क शोकः एकत्वम अनुपश्यतः ईशावास्योपनिषद इति मंत्रवर्णात् तरति शोकम आत्मवित् छांदोग्यो उपनिषद इति भिद्यते हृदयग्रंथि छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे मुंडकोपनिषद इत्यादि श्रुतिभ्यश्च. So here the various Upanishads are quoted, and here it says, and see, this knowledge of the self, it is called Guhya Gyan. It's a secret. It's secret. अरे गहरे नत्यु गहरे को समझ नहीं आएगा. क्यों? अवेलेबल ही नहीं है वो. जो द पर्सन हु इज कंटिन्यूअसली programming himself consciously, thinking only about the world, how can he become available? But he who has prepared, who has dispassion, who has made his mind focused, who is inspired to be subjective, and thus approaching the satsang, thus approaching the teacher, thus approaching the Upanishad, listening to it, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, to such a person only the Brahmatmaikya Bodh happens, not to anyone. Oh, but the other day you said Brahmatmaikya Bodh is our natural state. We don't have to do anything. No, but do you know it? Then don't come, if that is your question. Then for such a person for whom this Brahmatmaikya Bodh is happening, for him there is no karma, there is no upasana, there is no jnana, everything is over thereafter. Then here, as it said here, तत्र को मोह क शोक एकत्वम अनुपश्यतः. When a wave surrenders at the feet of the ocean, and when it looks back, what will it look? What will it see? Will it see, oh, that was the wave I was? Will it be that? All divisions, all multiplicity has vanished thereafter. When you go talk about your body, the hands, legs, head, eyes, back, front, what is your anubhav, experience? I. Isn't it? What will be the wave's experience of after surrender to the ocean. Ekatvam anupashyataha. It will be the vision of oneness. I am in all the waves are in me. But all the waves, they are made out of me only. I'm talking from ocean's point of view. From water's point of view, when it looks back, when it realizes it is water, it turns around, looks back. What will it see? Because turning around means I am not the world, your dispassion, I am not the body, going in, and you have the bodh of the self, Atma bodh. And when you have Atma bodh, and if we have studied Vedanta, and we know Atma is Paramatma, then can you remain in the Atma continuously? In meditation you can little bit and then you have to come out. But once Jivan Mukti happens, liberation happens, then for such a person, what will be his vision? What will be his vision? Will there be any bondage? Will there be any misery? Will there be any pain? Will there be any likes, dislikes? Will there be any desires? Will there be any relationships? Everything what was there before he had Brahmatmaikya Bodh, it will all be still there. But his vision with respect to everything has changed. What is your feeling? You are one, but you are expressing as the husband also, as the brother also, the son also, the uncle also, the grandfather also, the cousin brother also, the employer also, the employee also. But all these roles you are playing, but you are one. All the variety of forms and colors, the vision is illuminating, but the vision is one. So you have the experience of being the one. Here when he says, Tatra ko moha ko shokah ekatvam anupashyatah, that for such a person who is established in the self, who has had the Brahmatmaikya Bodh as we just explained before, for such a person, where there is any misery, where there is any bondage, not possible, because now his vision has transformed into the vision of oneness, just keep it that way rather than give too many words to it. A vision of oneness. Iti mantravarnat tarati shokam atmavit. Such a atmavit, such a one who is established in the self, he has tarati, he has swum across all the miseries of life. What are the miseries? Adi bhautik, adi daivik, adhyatmik. all the miseries. Then another, this was given in the Chandogya Upanishad. Then Bhidyate Hridaya Granthi Chidyante Sarva Sanshayaha. Such a person has here it says Kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin drushte paravare. When a person sees such a person who's had the or who is established in Brahmatmaikya Bodh, merely, just as we saw in Sri Ramana Gita retreat, merely by coming into his presence, by coming into his periphery, by having his remembering him, and there are enough. Read biographies, you will find out. Vidyate Hridaya Granthi. Or the other way you can say that as we are face to face with ourselves, with our true self, what happens when eyes try to see themselves? All variety vanishes, all forms vanish, all colors vanish. When the mind tries to see the mind, what happens? Because the I thought is in the mind, I is trying to know the I. What will happen? Vidyate Hridaya Granthi. The knot of ignorance that will be cut asunder. Chidyante sarva sanshayaha. All doubts, suspicions with respect to everything once and for all will be gone. Remember, one reality alone became Ishwar and Prakriti. And Prakriti is the potential of the Ishwar. So when Prakriti is expressing as Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, it's not independent of the Ishwar. Ishwar is part and parcel of that. So this entire creation is nothing but Ishavasyamitagam Sarvam. Yat kinchet jagat tyam jagat. And this vision is possible only when the Hridaya Granthi is undone. And what is this Hridaya Granthi? Avidya, Kama, Karma, Adi Bhautik, Adi Devik, Adi Adhyatmik, Tap, Putreshna, what was that? Putreshna, Vitteshna, Lokeshna. Raman Maharishi says, find out the source of the I. Find out the source of the I thought. That is the Hridaya Granthi. In that process, everything will be undone. Kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. And for such a person, from thereafter, there is no addiction of any karma, there is no enslavement to any karma and upasana. He may be seen doing it, but he is not addicted to it, he is not in need to do anything. Then it's a game. Then it's the Leela going on. Karma sahitadapi jnanadetat siddhyati chet. Now the student asks a question and he says, why should we say knowledge and removal of bondage is possible only by Brahmatmaikya Bodh? Why are you against karma? Why? Why are you against karma? But this is Ishavasya Upanishad also we remember. Chapter 18 also we see. Ishavasya Upanishad we saw the gati of who is karmanisht is something. The one who is following avidya, which means karma, there is a particular result. The one who is following vidya, meaning upasana, there is another result. And in this Upanishad, third one was given. The one who is living like a pashu, his gati is different. Three paths. Three paths. So, those who are addicted to the karma, they will pick up this fight. They will pick up this argument. Especially in Maharashtra, because they have studied the Bal Gangadhar Tilak's commentary on Bhagavad Gita. I also have. But that was the product of a particular time where Bal Gangadhar Tilak, when he was in the jail, he wrote that commentary from karma point of view to inspire the masses to stand up against the invaders. It was not for the one who is seeking truth. But that has become the all in all. So, न वाजसनेयके तस्यान्य कारणत्व वचनात्. No, this teacher answers, no, it is not possible. And then he quotes here, Jaya me syat iti prastyutya putrenayam loko jayo nanyena karmana pitruloko vidyaya devalokaha. It is told in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad what? That those who have putreshana, lokeshana, vitteshana, such people, they go to certain lokas, and the one who is here, it says what? Karmana pitruloko, those who follow karma, they go to pitrulok. Those who follow, what is the other one? Vidyaya, those who follow vidya, they go to devalok. इत्यात्मनोन्यस्य लोकत्रयस्य कारणत्वम् उक्तं वाजसेनयके. So, when we follow karma, the result of the karma is something else. It is not Atma Bodh. It is not Brahmatmaikya Bodh. So, ये अपने अंदर उतारना है. This we have to distill in ourselves. That our efforts, if we are putting efforts, when we do japa etc., we do put efforts, isn't it? Don't get addicted to it. Understand, it must become effortless so that you can how our Indian Mars orbiter, how did it go to Mars? They didn't have a strong rocket. They didn't have a big enough propulsion. So what did they do? They used the slingshot method. They made the rocket go around the Earth's orbit and using the earth's rotation, they shot out towards Mars. They used the earth's momentum to propel themselves beyond the gravity of the earth. Nobody had done it till India did it. The slingshot method. So for us also, karma is done for what? For purification. Upasana is done for what? Single pointedness. By using these two, slingshot method. Goal is, don't get stuck in karma and upasana. Goal is Brahmatmaikya Bodha. Don't get lost in a teacher. Don't get lost in the scriptures. Slingshot method. Use the scriptures, study the scriptures, have reverence towards the scriptures, have reverence toward God, have reverence towards teacher. Because without that reverence, you will not be available to the knowledge, because it is guhya. It is so hidden within the word, within the shlokas, that Adi Shankaracharya has to write commentary over each shloka, so that we can understand the deep secrets hidden within each verse, or in the scheme of thought that the Upanishad, that can be unfolded from the Upanishad. See? So don't get stuck anywhere. And that does not mean we become matter of fact. No. We must love the Upanishad. We must love the teacher. We must love the Lord. We must love and have confidence in our abilities that yes, I can. It will happen. Then, where are we? We did that, page 10. तत्रैव च परिव्राज्य विधाने हेतुरुक्तः किं प्रजया करिष्यामः येषां नोयमात्मायं लोकः. This comes in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. And what is that? He says, and for a sannyasi, the one who has renounced everything, for him this is very helpful. Here it is told. And what is that? That what will we do by thinking about the world, by thinking about the people? What is that? Kim prajaya karishyama. What am I going to do with the people? What am I going to do with the followers? What am I going to do with the disciples? Praja means people, no? People are collecting devotees, people are collecting donors, people are collecting disciples. Yesterday only someone I met, they went to an ashram, they were forcefully they are giving the mala. He said, but I don't feel like taking it. Then it becomes a fashion. Everyone wears the same type of mala, same type of kurta, same type of pajama. और मशीन गन लेके योगा के लिए पहुंच जाते हैं. So it is not. So here he says, Kim prajaya karishyamaha. We are only interested in the loka, in the world of Atma. So, to me, if we are interested only in the Atma, Will we spend any energies thinking about people, thinking about followers, thinking about children, thinking about relatives, thinking about what the world is saying, thinking about whether I have done my duties in the world? This is, if we are caught by the Atma, if we are a sannyasi, we have renounced everything. This is the renunciation, that no thought of the world. That does not mean that you are not doing what is that you are in the world, you are with the family, you are with the children, with the disciples, but you are not enslaved by any one of them. Sannyas doesn't mean running away from anything. Where will you run? Wherever you go, there you are. Where will the space run away from this room? Where will the space run away? Wherever it goes, there it is. Where will we run away? So, sannyas does not mean having a special status, having a special cloth, having a special, being in a special ashram. Sannyas means wherever you are, where the life has kept you, are you under the clutches of the world or are you independent? Are you having enough dispassion and or giving zero value, that is renunciation, that you are not interested only in anything? In everything you are while involved, for people that person is involved, but within himself he is ever available to the self, contemplating on the self, thinking about the self. See, this knack has to develop. Everyone has this knack. This knack you have about your children. This knack you have about your grandchildren. This knack you have about your pain. Everyone you will share it to. Develop this knack with regards that where can I run away? I cannot run away anywhere. Renunciation is not of the self. Renunciation is of the mind, of this I, the individual, the Jivatma, who was head over heels involved in the world. Now he has become a renunciate. Now he is recognized that this involvement, this love for the world is not going to take me anywhere. I am in love. I am not wanting to come back to this world, nor I want anything to do with any of the lokas all the way to Satyalok. Then what do I want? I want Atmalok. If there is something like that. So here it says, Ayam Atmayam Lokaha. This comes in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Tatrayam Hetvarthaha. What's the time? Abhi time hai. Okay. Praja Karma Tat Sanyukta विद्याभिः मनुष्य पितृदेवलोक त्रय साधनैः अनात्मलोक प्रतिपत्ति कारणैः किं करिष्यामः. He says that again the same thing is repeated here, and that is that that by these three things, by karma, Pitrulok, by vidya, Devalok, and with praja, we get Manushyalok. And so, what am I going to do with all this? I am not interested in all this. Neither I want children, neither I want wealth, nor I want any followers or disciples, nor do I want to be famous, have name and fame in this world. And all I want is to know my essential nature. That is where I want to abide. That is what I want to call my own. And because this Atma, this essential nature, is that which what is it? न च अस्माकं लोकत्रयम् अनित्यं साधन साध्यम इष्टम येषाम् अस्माकं स्वाभाविको अजो अजरो अमृतो अभयो न वर्धते कर्मणा नो कनीयात् नित्यश्च लोक इष्टः. That I want that Atma. I want to uh, uh, I want to know my be that know my essential nature. I want that loka of the Atma, which cannot be reduced, which cannot be known, which is unborn, which is nitya vastu, which is continuous. It is ever existing. It has never gone out of existence. The disciples will come and go. The the relatives will come and go. The wealth will come and go. The body will come and go. One day the teeth are very good. Next day some start paining. Then for no reason everything is okay. After 2 weeks again they start paining. This goes on. This is the fact of the world. But I want that swabhaviko, which is that natural state, my essential nature, that which is immortal, na vardhate, and that which does not reduce, that which does not increase. And that which is eternal, that loka is the eternal one. That eternal loka I am seeking. And in this way, such a nityatvat avidya nivritti rekena anya sadhana nishpadya. So by sadhana, whatever you get as byproduct, what is byproduct? You buy cow for cow dung or milk. You get a cow for milk, and cow dung is bonus. So when you do sadhana, you get something. What is that? Cow dung. You get siddhis. And if you do sadhana for siddhis, it is like you are forgetting the nectarine milk and focused on the cow dung. And that loka, or that atma loka, by nature it is eternal. Therefore then it can be gained only by avidya nivritti. Avidya nivritti, pravritti nivritti. Nivritti means withdrawal of avidya. Avidya is what? Avidya, ignorance, desires and action. All the three have to go, have to be dissolved. Go does not mean remove. Go does not mean annihilate. They have to be dissolved, sublimated. Dissolved does not mean that they cannot express. They can express, because that is the nature of the mind. but you are no longer available to them. You are no longer available to them. Catch this point. Eyes are not affected by anything that they illuminate. Mind is not affected by the five senses. Continuously stimuli are coming. Intellect is not affected by thought. So many thoughts are coming and going every day. The eye is not affected by the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, and the meditator. So it's not affect. The self is not affected by what do you call Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, and Samadhi, Turiya Tattva. So where is attachment? It's not possible only. But then they said it in the Bhagavad Gita. Remain in the second chapter. We are in Upanishads now. Catch the point. All those messages were for the Karta. Upanishads are not addressing the doer. The Upanishads are addressing the divinity within you, which is always present. They are invoking that. They are not invoking the doer. They are not talking to the waker, dreamer, sleeper, and meditator. So until and unless avidya is not withdrawn, till then this Atma Lok is not gained. Having the thoughts of the avidya and yet wanting to know the truth. This is what we are doing right now. We are in this world. Now you have to assess yourself. Is your attention on the self at this very moment? Or is your attention, is Swamiji going to go 15 minutes over like last time? Watch yourself. Last week I went 11 minutes over. Were you thinking, oh man, my dinner is getting late. Oh, why is he not looking at the time? Maybe now, this time he must have looked at the time. अपने आप को असेस करो. तस्मात् प्रत्यगात्म ब्रह्म विज्ञान पूर्वकः सर्वैषणा संन्यास एव कर्तव्य इति. Therefore, so if we want to make the Atma and the Brahma, Brahmatmaikya both means Brahma and Atma are one. If we want to realize this, then all the Eshnas have to be given up. Eshnas are the Putreshna, Vitteshna and Lokeshna. Then क्या टाइम हो गया यार? अभी हो जाएगा. कर्म सहभावित्व विरोधाच्च प्रत्यगात्म ब्रह्म विज्ञानस्य now he is going into some Bheda Drishti and all that. You don't want to be confused. You are already confused. So why confuse you more? तस्मात् दृष्टादृष्टेभ्यो बाह्य साधन साध्येभ्यो विरक्तस्य प्रत्यगात्म विषया ब्रह्म जिज्ञासेयं केनेषितम् इत्यादि श्रुत्या प्रदर्शयते. Therefore, by this Upanishad, Brahmavadya is demonstrated for whom, for him who has recognized there is nothing to be attained in this or other world. Then to tell this, the Upanishad begins केनेशितं प्रदर्शते शिष्याचार्य प्रश्न प्रतिवचन रूपेण कथनं तु सूक्ष्म वस्तु विषयत्वात् सुख प्रतिपत्ति कारणं भवति केवल तर्कागम्यत्वं च दर्शितं भवति. And therefore the whole Upanishad is presented as a question and answer between the teacher and the student, and student as the topic is so sukshma, is so subtle, so fine, that without a teacher it is very difficult to understand. So without reading the commentary of Adi Shankaracharya, it is very difficult to understand. It's when you understand what Adi Shankaracharya is telling, it's just like if we are available, if we have enough vairagya within us, if we are not caught up in putreshna, lokeshna and vitteshna, then we will become available to the subtle nuances that are given in this Upanishad, in the Upanishad and in the Bhashya. Otherwise, those people who think they know everything, it only leads to arrogance, it only leads to, and if we think that we are going to work it out, then Parikshit would have worked it out by himself. He was well educated. Arjun was well educated. He could have worked it out by himself. When you want to work it out by yourself, there is only one destination: Hiranyakashipu, ya Ravan, ya Kamsa. But when we surrender to the Upanishads, to the teacher, when we do Shravanam Mananam and are subjective in our approach, without and bringing about not forceful control our senses and mind, but we are enjoying the satsang so much that in that automatically, effortlessly, like while going to sleep, all the extrovertism gets dissolved. The world gets dissolved. It becomes an effortless glide. We are listening to the words here, but the words are gliding. We are taking that ghazar gundi ko kya bolte hain? Slide. We are taking that slide and landing in the lap of Brahmatma Ikya Bodh. But when we put efforts, then what happens? Effort only a karta can put, no? Again problem. So enjoy the satsang, enjoy the listening, remain subjective, effortlessly. Through efforts, truth can never be known. Only through, only the way Shankaracharya has explained here, that is the way. Sukshma drishti, subtle vision has to be developed. And that subtle vision will be developed where you are not into too much, you are not forcefully thinking, am I going in the wrong direction, am I in the right direction? You listen. Automatically your mind is glided. You know, when we do hang gliding, I have done that, what do you call that, hang glider. You go up to a hill, you run, and then when you run and you get you are airborne, then from the height you can see where the wind is going round and round and round. So that's where the hot air is, and you take the plane or the parachute above that point, and within seconds you gain so much height effortlessly. This is what eagles do. They are have you ever seen them flapping their wings high up in the sky? Effortlessly they are going round and round and round. Why they are going round? They are on top of the hot winds. Hot heat always rises. That's how they gain that height. And from there they are watching the mice and rabbit. So when we are listening to satsang, glide on the words of what you have heard. And that gliding is possible only if you are subjective, not otherwise. Let's quickly, give me 2-3 minutes. I'm going to go over, we'll finish this. Naisha tarkena mativrapaneya कठोपनिषद इति श्रुतेश्च आचार्यवान् पुरुषो वेदः छान्दोग्योपनिषद आचाराद्धैव विद्या विदिता साधिष्ठं प्रापदिति छान्दोग्योपनिषद तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन गीता 4th chapter इत्यादि श्रुति स्मृति नियमाच्च कश्चित् गुरुं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं विधिवत् उपेत्य प्रत्यगात्म विषयाद अन्यत्र शरणम अपश्यन् अभयं नित्यं शिवम अचलम इच्छन् पप्रच्छेति कल्प्यते. In short, what it is telling here is this sukshma drishti, this subtle vision cannot be developed on our own. It cannot be developed without a teacher, without being in a satsang. This is how Ramchandra ji studied. This is how the Hemlakha's husband studied. This is how Krishna studied, by going to Sandipani. This Guru Parampara, Guru Shishya Parampara, it is everywhere in our scriptures. So only then our vision gets developed. Otherwise Ramchandra ji was in depression. He had lost the plot for 10 days till his Guru Vasishta came and gave him Yoga Vasishta. From that moment onwards, Ramchandra ji was unstoppable. He was a complete man after that. Before, he was confused. So, approach the teacher. All these few things which are there, I can address them again, but in short, what it says is that knowledge which is not studied by yourself but which is gained from a teacher by listening only comes helpful. Otherwise, it's only pride and arrogance that comes with self-study. Self-study must be done only, if at all, if you have the itch, only after listening. You can revisit the verses. But best is keep listening, keep listening, keep listening. Our scriptures do not say pathanam, they say sharanam. And thus, go to a teacher with a proper manner, and it was already told, samit panihi shrotya brahmanishtam, and in this way, knowing well that to know the truth, one has to surrender at the feet of the teacher, and you surrender at the feet of the teacher not to want the world in return, but you want that immortal reality, that self, the ever existing self. That is what our focus is on, and with that focus we go to the feet of the teacher and surrender. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om all. Thank you for bearing me for another 6 minutes. Hari Om, Hari Om.